So you hear all those other claims with the Super Blaster, Mega Blaster, EVO SL. If you're like me and still found those shoes a little bit too firm, so just a couple runs done and dusted in this shoe. Now this is the Kiprun KD900 X2, and these are my first impressions. But before we get into it, and if you guys haven't done so already and you want to support the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with the specs, so this one is a neutral road running shoe, and I'm going to put it in that super trainer category, but it can probably tick the boxes of a few other categories, which I'll cover later. Now in Australia, you're going to be able to pick this shoe up for only $180. And it's going to debut in the US for $130, I believe, and you can pick it up in the UK for £100. Now in the weight, crazy lightweight package for a training shoe, so 190 grams or 6.7 ounces. Now that's this shoe, this is a US 8.5, and in the stack we got 34 in the rear, 28 in the front, I believe, with a 6mm drop, but I don't think that those stats that I've found are, I don't think they're including the sock liner or the inner sole, because that is probably about 4 or 5 mil itself. So it does feel like it's got a taller stack than what those stats say. And in the upper, so the material that they're using here is a single layer engineered mesh. Now the mesh itself, it feels like it's got that plasticky feel to it. You can see straight through it. Breathability is excellent. The actual design of the upper is so simple, but very effective. With a heel counter, it's got some structure in it, but it's also got some play. So for me, I think this heel counter is just right. I love how they're not overbuilt. Medium amount of padding around the heel collar. We've got a really thin tongue, which is not gusseted, but the tongue is not moving around because it's locked in with these laces in 2 locations. Our tongue has got that wing fit cut at the top, so it does sit nicely. It's got a couple of pads on the top as well, just to take that laces pressure off. Now with our lacing system, it's a standard lacing system, just reinforced eyelets down either side. There is no midfoot strap through the shoe. The laces, they are quite big and bulky. They probably don't need to be that big, but haven't had an issue with those coming undone. The midfoot lockdown, not too bad. No heel slippage in the back. In the fit though, it is a long fit. So I'm going to suggest with this shoe, you come down half a size. The width, I'm going to say, is quite accommodating as well. Not a super wide shoe, not a narrow shoe, somewhere in the middle. Toe box volume is just right. And in the outsole, so they've got 2 distinct segments of their outsole covering on the bottom of the shoe. Pretty much one big slab that covers the forefoot down the lateral side of the shoe and in that high wear area at the back, and then a separate little segment here on the inside of the heel area. Now, I usually don't like the segments on the rubber being too big because I feel like they do constrict some midsoles. However, it's not the case here because this rubber compound or whatever it is, it's quite soft to the touch. It's very sticky, and I can tell that it's not really playing too much of a part in affecting the ride here. It's pretty modest in the grip department, so obviously not taking this one out off-road. Just stick to the road with this one. Other little features on the bottom of the shoe there, some exposed foam here through the middle in that arched area there, a little window where we could see the carbon plate. It's also got a little groove here through the heel to add a little bit more softness and bounce to the ride. Performance-wise though, I haven't had any issues with the grip. I've only run this shoe in dry conditions though, and durability for me, it's too early for me to tell. And in the midsole, so the foam they're using here is an updated version of their V foam, and I do believe now it is a ATPU foam. So this ATPU foam is what all the other big brands are throwing in their super shoes. So the fact that they're putting that sort of foam in a $180 shoe here is amazing. Absolutely love it. So 2 layers of our V foam here, and in between that they've got their carbon plate. But rigidity wise, this carbon plate's got a bit of flex, so it's not going to feel like a stiff and rigid ride, which is really nice. So yeah, good amount of flex there, because it's just there for these soft foams just to grab hold of, and it also maintains the geometry in the shoe as well. And in our geometry, we have got some really nice geometry going on. So early stage rocker, not super aggressive, not super gentle, just somewhere in the middle, but it's just in the right spot. A little bit of a rear foot rocker here as well. And in the ride, well, the first word that is coming to mind here is special. So I know it's only early days for me, but you can usually tell you put a shoe on, you run a few Ks down the road if it's going to be a banger or not. And this one, I'm calling it early, this one is going to be an absolute banger. So the ride is just so smooth. It's got a beautiful soft landing. It's got a beautiful amount of bounce, a smooth transition, and a responsive toe off. It is so responsive when you want to pick up the pace. It reminds you just of a super shoe, of a race shoe, but it can also feel just amazing just bouncing along and jogging as well. So a super versatile ride. Yeah, this this flexible plate, you still feel quite natural in the shoe. It's not overly rocket, but just rocket enough to tick the legs over efficiently. The ride, yeah, it's so clean, it's so efficient. Yeah, it feels amazing no matter what you're sort of putting into the shoe. So there's a lot to like in this shoe. Standouts are certainly the price, the amazing ride, and also that lightweight. And what I'm still figuring out is nothing really to do with running in the shoe. It's just a little bit tricky to actually get your hands on a pair of these, because I believe there's only one company or one website that sells it, and that is Decathlon. I believe they actually own Kiprun. So let me know if I'm wrong there in the comments. But yeah, so pretty hard to get hold of, especially if you don't have Decathlon in your country. And also, I'm going to say just that sizing issue. So just do your study on the website itself and just make sure you just follow the instructions just so you do hone in and get the right size. And dislikes are, if you have one of these shoes in your rotation, you're going to want to run in it all the time. And when you do that, it's going to really make all the other shoes in your rotation feel not so great. While it's not as sexy as the EVO SL, for me it has got it really covered in the ride. So it's a softer, more bouncy, more fun, more responsive, it's smoother, it's more efficient, it's lighter, and it's cheaper than the EVO SL, but just doesn't have it in the looks department. So I think we've got a proper unicorn shoe here for lighter runners. So you hear all those other claims with the Super Blast, the Mega Blast, the EVO SL. If you're like me and still found those shoes a little bit too firm, and all the hype that comes around those shoes of what all the other runners describe in those other shoes, the lighter runners do miss out on that sometimes, but you're going to get all that in this shoe. So for me, this shoe's ride, it on those other shoes that I've just mentioned, and it's only $180. So this is really a true all-round do-it-all shoe. You can jog in this shoe, you can race in this shoe. It really, you can do it all. I know it's only early days, but I'm calling it now. Just when I gave the crown to another shoe for the shoe of the year about a week ago in my reviews, I think I'm gonna have to take the crown off that shoe and give it to this one once I finish testing. I can't imagine too much going wrong with this shoe unless the foam miraculously just flattens out and dies over the next couple of weeks. Then I don't see too much else going wrong with this shoe. Absolutely amazing. Nothing more than I can really say about it, except definitely go out and check it out, see how available it is in your country. But anyway, guys, that's it from me. Any questions you've got regarding this shoe, how it relates to anything else, hit me up in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.